the all-new Yamaha V6 Offshore F350. It's a featherweight knockout, the lightest 350 horsepower outboard on the water, exhilarating boating and incredible control in a powerfully light design. The Yamaha V6 Offshore F350.
Hey, tune into this week's weekly video fishing forecast for a recent look at an Orient Point trip that we went on, reports around the area, an open boat special again, and several news items.
The fishing news is sponsored by these fine partners. For nearly 90 years, the Viking fleet from Montauk has been putting anglers on the fish. Whether you jump on a half-day trip, fish the deep for an overnight adventure targeting big game, a day trip to Block, or a sunset cruise, their experienced captains and crew have you covered. VikingFleet.com.
The Fisherman's own Jim Hutchinson from New Jersey accepted the Sportsman's Award at the Manhattan Cup on behalf of the fishermen. Check out this video of him receiving it in person.
This was going to be a belated presentation of an award that we give out every year for the Manhattan Cup. If you're not familiar with the Manhattan Cup, it was held on June 7th. It's usually the first Friday every year, and it's to benefit veterans, to get as many of them out on the water as we possibly can. It's held at the Liberty Landing Marina, and for the last 5 years, the Fisherman magazine has been one of the major sponsors and has handled a lot of our advertising and promotion as part of that sponsorship. And we are sincerely grateful for everything they've done. One of the awards that we give out is called the Sportsmanship Award. And the Sportsmanship Award is presented to an angler that demonstrates the best sportsmanship on or around the tournament. And this year we were going to give it to somebody that you all know, but he kind of snuck out early from the event because
he did.
He was feeling
he was sick. It was a tough day.
But that's okay. We're glad you're there again. You've been at 5 in a row, I believe.
I think probably more than that.
And you've also fished the award, fished the tournament. Now, the award is called the Sportsmanship Award, but it's really our way of saying thank you to somebody who has not only presented the best in angling sportsmanship, but also someone who has benefited the tournament through the goodness of their volunteerism and out of the goodness of their heart. And this year we'd like to present it to, what's your name again? Jim Hutchinson.
Let's say it's for the Fisherman magazine, and as far as being benefited, I appreciate that, but the Fisherman magazine has always benefited.
Yes.
The entire resource has. What Gary didn't say about the Manhattan Cup, I've been kind of involved with it in a way as an angler, participating and promoting the tournament for a long time, since its inception. And it's funny, when the Manhattan Cup first started as a catch and release striper tournament, a lot of folks kind of turned their nose up, I think. Yeah, I mean,
sure.
The Manhattan Cup was always elite. It was always special.
Yep.
But at that time, all the tournaments were all about kill.
That was 23 tournaments ago.
Is that how long it's been?
It was the first tournament in the Northeast to ever have a completely all-release event.
Which today is sort of it's the norm, and you guys have actually become more of a model for so many other folks to have a catch and release tournament based on length and girth, and it's really special. And the other things about the Manhattan Cup, obviously, it supports our American servicemen and women, the wounded warriors and the vets, and Nico does such a fantastic job. I've met so many great warriors over the last few years, and just to see them and experience this. And the other thing that I would say about the Manhattan Cup and how much I appreciate this is that through the Fisheries Conservation Trust as well, that the Manhattan Cup actually helps sponsor our Northeast striped bass study with Gray Fish Tag Research. We have a fish swimming around with a mini pat satellite tracking device right now called the Manhattan Cup. So thank you for that.
Yeah, and again, this is presented to you, but it's also our way of saying thank you to the entire crew at the Fisherman magazine, Mike Caruso, John DeBona. You guys have all been great. You've been huge help, more than you'll ever know. And we hope to have you involved with us going again year after year.
God willing, I'll be there. Gary,
thank you.
I'm honored. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Rest in peace to local fishing legend Joe Masson. He was known for his knowledge and expertise on the west end of the island and in the fishing community. You'll be missed, Joe. A memorial visitation will be Wednesday, July 17th from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Christopher T. Jordan Funeral Home. That's at 302 Long Beach Road.
Make 2024 your year to win. Compete in the Fisherman Magazine's Dreamboat Fishing Challenge. It's our subscriber-only season-long region-wide multi-species fishing competition to win a brand new Yamaha-powered Steigercraft 21 center console. Go to thefisherman.com to check out all the amazing prizes. Remember, this contest is for Fisherman Magazine subscribers only. Catch fish and enter to win. Sign up today.
Come join the Captree fleet for a very special fireworks cruise. The Captree fleet is hosting a fireworks cruise from Captree State Park. It's a very scenic view of the State Channel to Jones Beach, and it's on the 4th of July. Most of the fleet will be leaving at 6:30 p.m. and will be returning at 11 p.m. with coffee and snacks on the way home. Visit thecaptreefleet.com/events for participating boats. Jeff Strong, president of Strong's Marine, spoke before Congress about the MAP Oceans Act and right whale vessel speed rule. He said, "Throughout my 51 years in the industry, I have seen firsthand the value our coastal regions provide, not just as critical habitat, but as also recreational spaces that support local economies." He also had a strong emphasis on the importance of the H.R. 8704, introduced by Representatives Carter of Georgia and Peletola of Alaska. The bill would pause changes to the current North Atlantic right whale vessel speed rule until 2030, while establishing a grant program to foster enhanced coexistence between recreational boaters and the whales. The latest issue of the Fisherman Magazine is out now. We got a bunch of columns for you this week. Surf column is "Are Eels a Non-Purist Method?" from Dave Anderson. Then on the inshore, heavy metal for big sea bass. For freshwater, the Alabama A-Rig for local bass. And we have a nice product review for you as well. It's the Yamaha Helmmaster for single outboards.
For more than 20 years, anglers everywhere have come to know one thing, that nothing says no to fish bites.
The Fisherman Magazine crew fished with Spro, Gamakatsu, and the Sea Falcon team aboard the Nancy Ann and Orient Point. We limited out on striped bass and threw back some big fish as well, with three-way rigs working, jigs, and bucktails. Some big blues were also in the mix, along with a bunch of porgies and some keeper sea bass. Fishing is hot out that way. Check it out. Hey, on this week's Open Boat Special, Jenny Ackerman from The Fisherman has another one for you. She talks about how to modify that traditional fluke rig to make it work better from the surf.
Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Open Boat. Now today I'm going to show you guys how to modify your fluke rig when you're fluking off the surf. Now there's a lot of times when a fluke bite, they can be finicky, so presentation is everything. So there's a lot of times when you have to come prepared, you gotta be ready to build up your rig. So let's get started with the basics here. I have my leader material here. I have it a little bit thicker just so you can see it, but usually I do 20 to 30 pound when I'm fluking off the surf. And this is your top. You're either uni-to-uni connected to your braid, or you have a barrel swivel attached to your braid. Now at the very bottom, you just have a loop here, and you can either do a bucktail or a sinker, but we're gonna start with the bucktail route first. We'll get into the sinker after when we modify the rig. So here I have a Magic Tails Hoochie jig in glow, and we're just gonna feed the leader through the eyelet. We're gonna wrap it around, and we're gonna attach the jig to the rig. So once that is attached, you can literally just fish that. That could be your whole rig right there, because when you're fluking off the surf, you don't need a lot of weight, and you want it to flutter and jig as you go fishing down the surf. So that's one option right there. Now, to modify it even more, you can do, of course, you can change the bucktail, you can do a jig head, you can do a hair bucktail, whatever floats your boat. This is the fun of tying your own rigs. You can find stuff that works best for you and what works best for the fish. So a little ways up from your bucktail, you're gonna do a dropper loop. So if you remember a couple episodes back, we were doing how to tie knots and stuff like that. So the dropper loop, you're gonna take it, pass it over, and you're going to make a little loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take the big loop, pass it through the little loop, and then pull with your teeth. And pull with your hands too. That creates a dropper loop. Look at that, perfect. So what you can put on this dropper loop, this is the fun part of accessorizing a rig. Of course, you have your hook. I like to use a bait holder hook. When you're fluking off the surf, 3 or 4-0. When I'm on the boat, I do a 6-0 bait holder hook. I could put that on there, but another modification, before I put the hook on there, I have these handy dandy little things. They are called Tsunami hollow teasers. They're super lightweight. There's literally like no weight to them at all. And what you could do is they have a little hole on their like nose here. You feed your leader material through, and that just flutters at the end of your dropper loop right there. And then you have space here to add your hook onto the bottom. So you have that going for you, which is nice as a teaser. Now, another modification, because fluke, believe it or not, can be picky, and I have experienced this before, where that rig doesn't work. I literally take the bucktail off the bottom and I put just a little bank sinker on there. And I have up at the top that dropper loop, I have either a naked teaser hook or I put the hollow teaser on, and it works. You just have to, fluking off the beach, I mean, fishing off the beach in general is such a labor of love. You got to put your time in and really make it work. But fluking off the beach is such a challenge. Stay tuned for next week's open boat when I give you helpful tips on that when we hit the surf. But you got to put your time in and make it work, and sometimes you're gonna have to modify your rigs. It's not gonna be, oh, this is perfect, I'm gonna catch fish on this. Sometimes you gotta take the bucktail off, put a jig head on, take the bucktail off, put a sinker on, put a naked teaser hook up on the dropper, put a hollow teaser on the dropper, change my bait color if you're using gulp or bait mule or whatever bait you're using. Sometimes it's trial and error, but when you make it work, it's even more rewarding. Now, like I said, stay tuned for next week's open boat, and I'm gonna take you on the beach, and hey, maybe the week after that we can take you fishing. Who wants to go fluke fishing with me? I know I wanna go fluke fishing, so why don't we do that? Everyone, enjoy the holiday, happy 4th of July, go out there, get some fish, don't get sunburned, and enjoy the holiday weekend, and I'll see you guys on next week's open boat.
Now let's take a look at the upcoming events. We have on July 7th, this is the rain date, the second rain date for the All-Pro Duca Fluke Fishing Tournament and Fair. Check out their Facebook page for all the up-to-date details on that. Then on July 11th is a Town of Islip Public Freshwater Clinic. On July 13th is the Hampton Bays Fluke Tournament. And on July 25th is another Town of Islip Public Freshwater Fishing Clinic. For more on the events, visit thefisherman.com/events.
Here's the Dreamboat Roundup for the week of July 2nd. We had an entry of Porgy from LI subscriber Tony Vernola of Centerport, New York, weighing in at 2.2 pounds, placing him in first place in the category. Then there's Pete Gebhardt, Long Island subscriber from Wyandanch, New York, entering his week fish of 5.69, placing him in 8th. The top spots go like this. Anthony Savino is still in first with 18, Christopher Jones at 11, and Frank Shea at 10. To participate in the Dreamboat contest and your chance to win a 2024 Steigercraft powered by Yamaha, you must be a paid subscriber and complete the entry form in full to be eligible. Get all the details at thefisherman.com/contests.
All right, let's head over to the map and I'll let you know what I've been hearing. All right, Jacqueline Molina, she sent me this Fire Island Keeper fluke caught on a curly tail along with her pup Parker. Nice job, guys. Anthony Vernola, he had a 2.5-pound porgy, nice sized porgy caught in Cold Spring Harbor area. Then Jonathan, he's one of the owners of Magnolia Bait and Tackle. He reported that they're killing the fluke. This was a 26-incher, 7-pound fish caught right off Magnolia Pier along with a lot of other nice fish. Then Jackson, he's 8 years old. He caught these 2 really nice fluke drifting the back bays of Freeport area. Remember that South Shore bite is on fire right now. And to kick it up a notch, we have Netta. She's from Seaford. She had a 10.4-pounder from in the bay. She was fishing with Captain Mark on the Bloody Money. Can't beat that fishing right there. 10+ pound fish in the bay. Also, shooting it out to Montauk, Alan E., he always checks in with us. He was on the ebb tide too in Montauk. This was last Friday. He caught this 42-pound striper on one of their night eel fishing trips. If you have a notable catch, email me at mbroderick@thefisherman.com with the photo and any details, and I will try and get into the weekly video fishing forecast or the magazine. Now let's check in with Captain Timothy O'Rourke from Montauk. Tim.
Thank you, Matt. Well, greetings, everybody. I'm down here in Alabama for a little baseball tournament with my son, so the background is not the usual look. But everything in Montauk is still moving forward. The ebb tide has been doing the night bass trips on live eels and jigs. They've been doing really well. They've been getting a lot of fish over 40 pounds, a few up to 50. The regular charter boat guys doing the same. A lot of diamond jigging going on right at the point, which has been great. And it's still working well with striped bass with fly fishing and light tackle, and there's plenty of big gator bluefish that have moved in. The fluke bite's still good. Sea bass has opened up. Miss Montauk's been chipping away, picking away at some really nice quality fluke. And then for any of you guys that like working the edge, going out to the deep water by the canyon bite has really kicked in. The Viking 5-star had a captain's choice, which was tilefish, tuna, and other stuff, and they got a couple pictures of that. They did really well with that. A bunch of other guys have ran out to the canyon with this nice weather window, so next week I'm hoping to have some really good canyon information. All right, everybody, happy 4th of July. Next week we'll be back in Montauk, and it'll be a more comfortable report. Thank you, everybody. Happy 4th of July.
From Shinnecock, we're going to check in with Mike Dean.
Thanks, Matt. Hey, everyone. We're kind of into the summer doldrums around Shinnecock and Moriches, but still got the sea bass going on. That bite's been pretty good off the Hampton Reef and another couple of spots, just outside of Shinnecock and a little bit to the west of there. Fluke bite continues to improve both in the bay and a lot more in the ocean. So that's definitely worth checking out this weekend. Going to start to see some more sharks around on the bunker pods when you can find the bunker. It really has not been as many pods as we had just even about a week and a half ago. So going to have to earn it. Tuna bite starting to go pretty well. Both, mid-shore and all the way out. Big eye, bluefin, yellowfin. Yellowfin have been kind of close. So be interesting to see how that bite kind of develops. And, there's kind of something always around. Small stripers in the lip off the beach. Try to concentrate on some of the smaller jetties. And even in the inlet, there's always something going on in there. So have a great 4th, everyone. Get out there and fish. Let us know how you do. Back to you, Matt.
From Northport, the Cow Harbor Bait and Tackle report.
It's great news. We've got a lot of Porgies. They're moving in on the beach just in time for these 4th of July celebrations. All these families get a lot of relatives in from town, and you're on the boat or the beach. You just want to have a great time. On top of that, we've got some fantastic bluefish action going on right now, and the bassing just remains super strong. Mainly, I see these large bass are out in the Triangle area, over by Crane's Neck, or working in the mouths of Cold Spring Harbor, Connecticut's got to be a blast. I'm not going over there, but we're just having such a great time over here with the fishing. Now, still fluke out there, but you're going to have to really look for them. They're coming in these pods. They've dispersed out because the sand eels, for the most part, are not in as much abundance now that the hatch has changed and the fluke have spread out. So you've got a lot of real estate to cover, a lot of things to do, and the most important thing is to go out there and have a happy, healthy and safe 4th of July. And as always, I bid you peace and tight lines.
From Huntington, Captain Gaige.
Thanks, Matt. What's up, everybody? Captain Gaige here reporting to you from Huntington Harbor, where I fish 7 days a week for SandCityCharter.com. Check it out. So last week's report, I told you I was going to show you how I throw the cast net and catch bait around the marina and the shoreline. We did not have any time to do that since last week. We have been super busy with charters, which we're super blessed, so thank you. Wednesday, we did tell you we were going to go out and sit on the chunk for the first time. We got out there 6 o'clock, and we had to come back in around 8:30 because a big storm was rolling through. However, the boats that were out there were running and gunning, the birds were working, the bunker were jumping out of the water, the bass were everywhere splashing around, so it was a ton of fun. So we had a great time Wednesday. We did manage to tag a couple of bass. We'll show you one of the tags here in the video. And then Saturday morning, we got out there. It was nice and calm. We shot out around 8 o'clock, and by 10:30, 11 o'clock, the waves had kicked up to 2 to 3 feet out there. It was getting a little choppy, but we did manage to put birthday boy Larry on his first striped bass ever. So his daughter Samantha wanted to take out her dad and put him on his first striped bass. So we were very happy to be part of that. And congratulations, Larry. Happy birthday. And way to go catching your first striped bass. So this Thursday, 4th of July, Independence Day, is going to be one of the busier boating days of the year. I'll be out there on the commercial towboat till about 10:30 at night until the fireworks end and everybody comes back in. And I just want to remind everybody to be extra careful out there. Safety is a priority, so please, if you're boating, it will be busier than normal out there. So remember safety first. Wishing everybody bent rods, tight lines, and I'll see you out on the water. Back to you, Matt.
With the Fly and Freshwater Report, Paul McCain from River Bay Outfitters.
Hello, Matt. Well, I've been here. I'm here up in the Housatonic, and I came up here really to check out, looking for launch sites for my personal watercrafts. I want to float this river really bad. It is just the perfect river for it. Big, a lot of fish. So I found some spots. I'm going to do it, and I'm looking forward to it with friends of mine. As far as fishing goes, trout fishing, unless you're fishing the tailwaters or you're fishing the spring creeks like the Shinnecock, forget about it. Switch over to smallmouth, switch over to panfish. Just forget about trout on the freestones. Way too hot. I was fortunate enough to guide this week. I guided Lenore and Nicole. And you know what? These women really were into it. And they were pretty good. They both had fish on. They didn't all land fish, but they both had fish on. They felt the tug. And it is getting into the summer mode. So think about big dry flies or slow nymphs down deep between the weeds. As far as saltwater goes, we're really getting into the summer with this heat. We had bluefish are still around, fluke are still up on the flats. Stripers, it's more of a night game now, unless you go way out east and go out and fish the ocean. The back bays is definitely a night game. And I'm talking like 2 in the morning night game. As far as me, I'm going to focus more on smallmouth. I really love this. And the beauty of this river is, and it's the prettiest river in the east, is that it is only 2 hours from my house. So it really is a lot of fun. Today I did have a few, not a great amount. The water's a little off color because of the rain. But I did have about 10, and not big, but boy, did they fight way beyond their size. They're just incredible. So I'm going to do a lot more of that. And if you'd like to join me, go to riverbayoutfitters.com. Check out the trips page. I got several trips to the Housatonic this summer. So until next week, tight lines, everybody.
From the Western Sound, Nuno Decosta from Tyalure Tackle up in Rye.
Thanks, guys. Nuno here from Tyalure. The shop, Tyalure Tackle in Rye, New York, remains open every single day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Even 4th of July, all weekend, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. That being said, the weather hasn't been our friend lately, both inshore and especially offshore. A lot less weather windows out there to go out. This weekend, the weather was tough with the wind, especially on Saturday. Upcoming, we have some good weather windows, it looks like, to do both inshore and offshore. So take advantage of them and get out there. Offshore fishing remains very good with nearshore bluefin tuna. Offshore, the yellowfin and the big eyes are there. The occasional reports of some swordfish and wahoo in the mix. So things are really shaping up offshore and the nearshore waters. Here, locally, the porgy fishing has improved here to the west. Fluke fishing is decent. Blue fishing remains okay. And the striped bass fishing can be hot or cold on some days depending on what time you go out. It kind of settled into their summer pattern, so things have changed up a little bit on how they're feeding and how they're concentrated. So the deeper water, sometimes pieces, and the shallow rocks where some boaters can't get into tend to do very well. The local scene here at Playland Pier has been accounting for a good amount of porgies coming up. So that's great for the local guys who don't have access to a boat. But don't forget, you also have party boat options here. Lots of party boat options in Westchester and the Bronx that you guys can go to that are local, not far. So go check those guys out also, guys. And if you want to charter a whole boat, there's also options there here in the Western Sound. Enjoy your 4th of July, guys. Tight lines. Nuno signing off.
Rob Greco of the Long Island Outdoorsman checks in.
Hello, fisherman readers. This is Robert Greco from Long Island Outdoorsman giving you this week's fishing report. Pretty much fluke. You know, the fluke bite has been outstanding, continues to be very good. Although we are seeing, just like I said last week, we're starting to see some of those back bay spots not produce as much. We're seeing more shorts coming in on the back bay spots. We're moving more towards Reynolds Channel, and we're just starting to poke around at the reef a little bit. Our crew, myself, Rob Greco Sr., Luis, Andrew Vinci, we were out and we were getting fish up to about 22 inches, all different depths between like 16 to like 50 feet of water, bucktails and gulp as usual. Me personally, I was out with Luis, I believe it was Tuesday, and we had 4 keepers all from the kayaks. I ended up limiting out up to 22 inches, and that was pretty exciting. That's my second time limiting out on the kayak this season. So I'm excited about that. And like I said, there's definitely fish around. Now that sea bass is open, it's another good time, another good reason to start poking around at the reef. Places like Hempstead Reef, Atlantic Beach Reef, McAllister, places like that. Those places are going to start to produce some reports. So thank you guys. Back to you.
Don't forget to take a look at the Fisherman Magazine apparel store. We do have hats, sweatshirts, hoodies, and our t-shirts. They're all online now. It's free shipping with orders over $100. It's a great gift for yourself or that angler in your life. Visit thefisherman.com/shop or click on the card in the upper right. Remember to like our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and tap on the bell to be notified instantly when we do post a new video on YouTube. Please be sure to support our correspondents by visiting their websites and their social media pages. Don't forget this video is available as a podcast on iTunes and Google Music. Search for the Fisherman Magazine podcast and subscribe so you can listen to this broadcast along with our other content. Well, first off, I just want to say thanks for watching, guys, and I want to wish everybody out there a very happy 4th of July. It's going to be a great day. The weather's going to be great. The days coming after are going to be great also. A lot of great weather for fishing. There's a lot of fluke out there. Striped bass fishing has been phenomenal. I think it's going to be a fluke kind of 4th of July, in my opinion. Whatever you decide to go for, good luck, enjoy the holiday, and be safe out there. See you next week.